Hey, may I ask what is your name?
Pierre Voltaire.
Pierre, you have a wonderful escort. You certainly look really cool. Can you talk a little bit? What do you do?
So for Fashion Week Brooklyn, I'm the marketing director and have been for the past 4 years. And by profession, I'm a designer. And the last company that I worked with, currently I work with different clients, but the last company that I worked with on a full-time basis was Calvin Klein. I was the design director for their men's outerwear, and that pretty much was
What's fun is entirely working with Rick. Do you enjoy his company?
So it has nothing to do with his company. It's a question of him providing a platform for young up-and-coming designers who would not otherwise not have the opportunity to get the exposure. And so that has been something that has caused me to really gravitate towards Fashion Week Brooklyn and to be one to want to make it easier for young up-and-coming designers.
Can you talk a little bit about the sustainable fashion? Why we're here at the Hudson Yards today?
So sustainable fashion is a very delicate, interesting, and controversial.
How come controversial?
Well, controversial from the perspective that, you know, we and the fashion industry, we're one of the biggest polluters of the environment because of the fact that we create fast fashion, we create fashion where, based on this.
But it builds jobs. It creates jobs. It creates a movement. Like I've seen a few big companies when they, instead of giving the clothes away for free or selling it cheaper, they just burn everything rather than lower the price. They want to keep the brand afloat with the high margins, high price, even if they don't sell it.
Yeah. So if you burn the clothes. It's almost like a wash from the perspective that if you burn the clothes, you're polluting the environment. And so I really don't see the point of doing that. I mean, perhaps
their concern is if they will give it away for free, the cost, if this jeans costs $1,000, $2,000, and they sell it for $20, they never be able to bring back the price. So they have to burn and destroy those jeans before they go to the market, before they to keep the price up. Otherwise, they kill the brand. That's I don't know if it's a fair judgment, but that's what their argument is.
Yeah, I mean, I get that because you see, there's a difference between designing a group, designing a line, and benefiting from it, and then there's the part that you're designing a line and what environmental impact that it will have. So part of the problem is that from a sustainability standpoint, sometimes we get all caught up in thinking that it's only about what kind of material you use, so on and so forth. But sustainability is such a wide topic that it pertains to everything where, what technology you're using so that it will not affect human labor. It goes to speaking about what technology you're using so that you can make clothing more proficiently, right? And it speaks to the humanitarian aspect, where it's like, well, you should pay people a fair price for the labor. And that's a component and a part of sustainability that a lot of people don't talk about, but that make something sustainable.
Folks go online and they go on Amazon. They don't buy the ones that have donations or like pay fair labor. They buy the one who sells the cheapest price possible. And to achieve that lowest price point, people have to cut corners. Sometimes they hire kids. Sometimes they don't pay people. Donald Trump done it probably many times when he didn't pay folks, and he's sustained. Like I don't think he sells cheap. He always try to sell upscale, but a lot of companies, in order to sustain the really low price point and sell in bulk, they look for the ways to save, and saving is usually goes with the ability to low cost labor, whether it's overseas or it's not paying overtime or whatever they try to do to minimize the expense.
Yeah, so the thing is this, it's like there are ways to cut the cost of waste, and there
the people will feel, oh, he's like a kind of lower the price. He didn't pay the people the proper price, like what happened to Nike, remember? And the brand suffered, and a lot of younger generation folks went away from Nike to smaller brand. Even Nike has amazing product because they have been caught so many times using child labors and profiting from those techniques.
Well, I think that with some of those arguments, there's no real way to avoid them, simply because, when you speak of like the third world and other countries within the third world, you have a lot of child labor, right? So there are a lot of kids who are working on construction of new garments. But I think that what's important is that all of us from this side take a quick look at what's coming out and have an understanding of where all this product is coming from. In other words, what's the DNA? If you have a shirt, what's the DNA?
Do you mean that it's like you're choosing a lesser evil? Let's say either you have a choice that this child will die of starvation and have no food whatsoever, or you hire that child and give them a job. Yes, it's not a good idea to have kids 5, 7, 10 years old working in that many hours. But on the other hand, if you will not give them a job, they might just simply die because of starvation.
Well,
so it's like a very difficult choice. It's not like they have ability just to feed all those kids.
Well, there is that, and there's at the end of the day, there's really no right answer to it, right? I think that from the perspective of sustainability, what you have is you do have a lot of conscious consumers, and because that you do have that, and a lot of the standard manufacturers are not privy to how best to handle it. What ends up happening is that they're like, well, you really don't represent my demographic, so why should I listen to you?
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard the argument. Let's see. Do you have like Instagram? But do you have like like social media by any chance?
Yeah. So
what is it?
I'm at HarlemPublicArtsProject.com, and on Instagram I am at Prosper151 P Richards. So definitely follow me and follow Fashion Week Brooklyn, because I believe that what we represent newness, contemporary perspectives. And we think that it's very important to save the planet. We all got to jump on this bandwagon.
Thank you. Listen up. I think Pier has a point.